There are many ways to improve our future.
Like abolishing capitalism, boycotting fossil fuel, criminalizing politician lie, deleting Israel, improving circular economies, focusing on education, de-arming the world, growing a food forest, nuking Russia, heavily taxing the rich, making housing a human right, and so much more.
But in this video, I want to share 2 solutions that I think can really heal the world. I really do believe all problems should be attacked on 2 fronts, fighting the consequences now and solving the root of the issue, so we don't have more consequences coming. Let me use an example, fighting criminality. Politicians love to hire just more police or even put soldiers on the street, like in Brussels, and while these do solve temporarily some issues regarding safety, it doesn't solve the root of the issue. Where those crimes come from? There are numerous factors, like all of these ones, but the main consensus among experts is that poverty heavily induces crime. And those same politicians, are they willing to fight poverty as hard as they're willing to fight crime? I don't think so. That's where there's a problem. The problem will just never be fixed. Our world is turning toward climate destruction, misinformation and fascism. While we need to fight those actively to minimize their effect on the society, we also need to solve the root issue. That's why I'm going to explain in this video how I think we could heal the next generation, or at least spare them from the harm that we're causing on ourselves. First point has to be education.
If children don't grow up knowing about nature and appreciating it, they will not understand it. And if they don't understand it, they won't protect it. And if they don't protect it, who will?
That's a topic that's often talked about and then nothing really happens. Each generation of politicians say they want the young generation to take over, but then when the younger generation do actually speak, they just get ignored. I'm not gonna speak about special policies because each country has their own specific education. I'm just gonna talk more about more general things. First, I believe we should have all climate classes, or at least something with nature. Anything that will teach the younger generation about our planet. With the current situation, I don't think that's a topic we can really skip. Obviously, I'm not saying we should tell 10-year-old kids that we are all gonna die if we don't change anything, but introduce them to topics that slowly they're gonna get to understand. When in university, I had a class called Climate and World Problem. The class was amazing and I learned many things, but I really do believe this class shouldn't have been in university, but in secondary school. I learned many things and it really changes how you see the world around you. And it's not that hard to introduce either. For example, WWF has a whole curriculum that is easy, free and open source for any teacher to just use. So the content is there and the difficulty can just be adapted to how old your class is. But also some countries like Denmark, Belgium and Germany are doing something that is called forest kindergarten. Basically introducing kids at a very early age to nature. It serves all the purpose of a normal kindergarten, except this time they are literally in a forest and introduced to nature. This strengthens the link between the kids and our planet, but also has many great positive effects. For example, not having any toys that is designed to be played one way, kids develop more language skills and imagination. It also reduces their stress and the stress of the daycare worker as well. It improves agility, coordination, sensitivity, immunity system. And children who participate in forest kindergarten are also less likely to injure themselves physically. And in Germany, all the kids that went to Wald kindergarten, so forest kindergarten, are performing overly above all the others in primary school. Other than everything I just mentioned, I believe we really need to break this barrier that we have with nature. Majority of the Earth believe that there is our planet, nature, and us. We are nature, we are animals. So doing that connection at a very early age will definitely improve the link that people have to nature in the future. Some other values are also taught in school, like sharing and cooperation. You're also taught to be nice to one another and have empathy. But as you get older, values like meritocracy, hierarchy of people and competitiveness are pushed way too hard for me. You are taught unconsciously that some jobs are just better than others, and if you don't earn enough, your life is gonna be terrible. But something else that's very important is stereotypes. Children don't just guess stereotypes, so it doesn't just come instantly. They are taught.
Why do you think women get paid less than men for the same jobs?
Girls don't work as hard as the boys.
What are they doing instead of working hard?
doing other stuff.
Between 5 and 7-year-old is when the main gender stereotypes are taught to kids. It's in this exact age that kids should be taught to behave and not to become future masculinists. The whole education shouldn't come just from the teachers, it should come from the parents as well. Parents have a huge role in raising their kids, not surprisingly. And passing generational trauma is a bad habit of humans. I'm pretty optimistic on this matter. I really believe that each generation is getting better. Less racist, more accepting, more or less. But I said it many times, that's how people should teach their kid. The best way to be tolerant is to be intolerant of intolerance. And it's not just about being nice, it's about showing the example to your kids. One part I believe is really necessary is political knowledge. Kids nowadays are dropped out of a secondary school and they have no idea how the country works or which issues are really important in the world. And as soon as they exit school, they have to vote directly. Voting has a lot of impact, so you can't really do it randomly, otherwise there will be big consequences. And I believe world problems, politics and climate have to be part of the school curriculum. Just the basics to prevent people from not having an opinion on it. Because if you don't have an opinion about climate or about politics, it's almost the same as being against it. You have no idea how much it makes me crazy to see opinion polls on politics and seeing that people think immigration is more important than the destruction of our planet. The problem of being ignorant in politics, because school failed you, is that you can get really easily influenced, and mostly by the media.
L'amour est comme l'oiseau de Twitter.
For me, media is really the root of our current society problems and of fascism. Sadly, it's a very complex situation. Should media be privately or publicly owned? Because this makes media depend on income. And with the growing competition and often big cuts in subsidies, medias need to be seen. They need your click or they need you to buy the latest newspaper. And in order to do that, they're gonna speak more about situations that get your attention. Like immigration, for example. This topic comes all the time in the news, more than others. This is just to make more money. After all, the media needs to pay their employees. But this really creates a false image of the important news. And news become a narrative and not a report. Journalists exaggerate, invent details or just fully lie. And sadly, this can't really be fixed easily in a capitalistic model. The same goes for algorithm. I will explain this right after. Another huge issue with media is that when they're private, they can be sold. Rich fascist millionaires are gonna buy a majority of the media and shift them toward the right. Once again, on immigration or on anything that won't challenge how the current system is working. Over the year, you can really feel how medias are shifting right. Some are becoming leftist, some are becoming right, when in reality they should just be reporting factual news. Take Fox News in the US, for example, or CNews in France. These two are just there to scare people and invent a status quo that isn't true. Misinformation is often more tolerated now, hate speech as well. The coverage of the news is often also very pessimistic, which makes people unable to act. Many believe that their influence is too small or will not change anything in the world, or that the world is just fucked up. Maybe you believe that. And if you do, just try to change things. If the world is really fucked up and you're not trying to change it, then you are fucked up. But what could really be the solution? Publicly owned media? Not really. This is gonna backfire really fast. Take all the biggest media in Hungary, for example. They were all just spreading misinformation and propaganda for Orban. The same goes for Russia. A public media is very good, but in the hands of a dictator, it becomes a deadly tool. A good in-between would be to have a private media, heavily funded by subsidies, without the state having to say anything about their content. Or a walking media police, like in France. Except one that's not fully biased and is not doing shit. The problem is that this crisis of media becoming unreliable does make the whole situation even worse. They're gonna get less money or even get boycotted. But by media, I don't only mean TV and newspaper. The plague of today is algorithm. Algorithms are trying to either put you in a political bubble or to put forward content that will get your attention, no matter what the attention is. And that's where the problem is. That's why idiots like the Tates or other masculinists are popular. If you like them, you follow, you like, you comment or you stay on the video, which gives them watch time. But if you don't, you stay on the video because you're shocked, or you correct them in the comment or just insult them. Either way, you give them attention. And the algorithm knows that, so they will just spread the bullshit further and further. Misinformation and hate speech is able to travel way further than hope and optimism, just because of that. Europe is trying to tackle the problem, but it's pretty complicated. There should be real sanctions for hate speech and misinformation, not promotion for it. As I said in the beginning, fighting for a better future now is amazing, but it needs to be fought on two fronts. We need efficient and adapted education. Government need to stop saying that they believe in the next generation, but they need to actually act. Stop defunding education. Speak about climate and politics in school. And we absolutely need regulated media. Unbiased, trustable source of media, not owned by some rich asshole that's completely disconnected from reality. We need algorithm that doesn't promote hate and negativity. An algorithm that challenges your views and avoid putting you in a bubble of people that are just hyping each other up, even if they're wrong. Do not assume everything you see online is right as well. When someone tells me in the comment that I'm wrong, I'm always double checking, just to be sure I'm not spreading misinformation. I believe there are many other problems that could be solved at the root. If you think of any other, comment them down below. I would really be interested to learn new things. And I would like to take a moment to thank Cybes, Finn Peters, and Paracelsius Dilkenberg VI for subscribing to my Patreon. For anyone who would be interested to support me and to access exclusive content, short unfiltered videos, and vote for upcoming video topics, subscribe to my Patreon. Thank you to anyone who actively watch my videos, subscribed and comments. I really enjoy seeing the feedback. I'm still trying to improve the quality of my videos, so please leave feedback and be patient with me. I'm really happy that my channel is growing, so thank you so much for this. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.